My name is Kenneth Francis, a student from the Masters of Public Health program with the St. George's University. Today I am presenting on my final capstone paper, which comes in the form of a grant proposal. The area of study of my topic today is the prevalence of occupational injuries among hospitality sector workers in Antigua and Barbuda, with a special focus on hotel employees. The research aim is to quantify the prevalence rate of occupational injuries in the hospitality sector for the period June 2018 to May 2020. And my research objectives include quantifying occupational injury rates, understanding the relationship between the profession and those injuries, as well as determining which occupations have experienced the greatest number of occupational injuries. This study is necessary because such a study has not been conducted in Antigua and Barbuda, nor in the OECS region based on my research. This study is also necessary because out of conversations and interviews with the Labor Department of Antigua, there's a lack of reporting occupational injuries. As such, there's no quantifiable data as to the burden occupational injuries have in Antigua on the healthcare system in Antigua and Barbuda, as well as the labor force in Antigua and Barbuda. Okay, so I understand that in order to do this study, I would need to gain the confidence of the participants. And this will be done by making connections with agencies who already have relationships with the organizations. The importance of this study would be explained. Studies like this have been conducted in the United States, Taiwan, and Denmark, and the results have all showed that there are high incidences of occupational injuries among hospitality workers, making me to assess the situation in Antigua an important one. I anticipate that the hotels and participants may be reluctant. However, my approach would include first making contact and getting approval from the IRB in Antigua and Barbuda, which is based in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Environment. Relationships would then be built with the Tourism Authority, Ministry of Health, and Ministry of Labor in order to have a network connection with the participating hotels. The study, in this case, will follow a study design similar to a research conducted in the US on occupational injury disparities, which was published by the American Journal of Medicine in 2010. The study design would be cross-sectional using questionnaires. And the study is aiming to quantify the number of occupational injuries, the rate of occupational injuries among hospitality workers. The population of target would be large hotels in Antigua, where individual and the persons targeted, the participants for the research would have had to work with the hotel at least 3 months, which is the probationary period in Antigua and Barbuda. Large hotels have been selected in order to ensure that the different departments are all captured. A large hotel for the purpose of this study is a hotel with at least 100 guest rooms, 2 restaurants, 1 bar, lounge facilities, conference space, a pool, bell service, and an on-property maintenance team. In order to participate in the study, the inclusion criteria is that the person would have to be 18 years or older and an employee of the hotel, would have had to been with the hotel from at least March 1st, 2018. Interns and trainees will be excluded from the study, as well as persons with existing injuries similar to the injury that they would have suffered in the hotel. Population sample, a sample of 366 was decided on based on the fact that there are approximately 7,500 hotel and hospitality workers in Antigua and Barbuda, which represents 16% of the working population and contributes 50% to 50%, at least 50% of the GDP. The 366 was determined in order to attain a confidence interval of 95% in order to maximize the validity of the study. Sampling for this research is going to be in the form of stratified random sampling. Essentially, once given the go-ahead, I will go into the hotel and a list of employees from each department will be requested. And the list would be from persons who would have worked at least from March 1st, 2018. Thereafter, I'm going to be using a random selector in Excel to select employees with a 10% buffer to cater for employees who may not be available. The employees will be given the questionnaires and the material, which would include an internet access and a computer, which are provided by the researcher in order to conduct the interview, to partake in the interview, which should take no longer than 25 minutes. The interview consists of 21 questions. The data collection instruments would be electronic submission, and the data will be stored automatically through Google Docs. No identifying information will be collected from the participant or the hotel in order to ensure that the reports are anonymous and to protect the identity of the hotel and the employee. The data reports will go to organizations like the government of Antigua and Barbuda, the different ministries, as well as the funding agency and the industry professionals as deemed necessary. The research is anticipated to provide findings similar to that of the study conducted in the US on the disparities of occupational injuries, where a rate of 5.2 injuries for 100 worker years were found. The dissemination of the findings will be done in 3 ways: conference or meetings with the local authorities and agencies as well as stakeholders, a published article, and a meeting with the hotel management upon agreement with the local authorities. The results should be able to assist in facilitating a reduction strategy and policies that allow for compliance and enforcement, as well as to reduce time lost on the workforce. The timeline for this project is 12 weeks. And the budget for this project is $17,559.26 US. The credentials of the researchers are credentials related to reporting, assessment, public health, and the management structure would include consultation with the local government offices in order to better facilitate the study. If the hospitality-related injuries are measured and injury types and frequencies, as well as severities and causes are known, prevention strategies can be implemented for reduction in the prevalence of occupational injuries among hospitality workers in Antigua and Barbuda. Thank you very much for listening to this proposal, and I hope that you found that it is as necessary as I think it is.